coming up on this week's episode of the podcast, Kai has completely bailed on me. How dare he? No, he's a busy boy. So we have a lovely special guest coming up where we're going to be talking about the differences between the UK versus the USA, plus a little bit more. Coming up on this week's episode of... I'm Stuck in a Podcast! My name is Fraser, and I am joined today by Audrey!
Hello!
How's it going, Audrey?
It's going great, Fraser.
Good, I'm glad you're doing well. I mean, I could call you Kai, because on Kai's Discord server, you are currently called Actually Kai.
I am Kai, yes. Kai and I are the same person.
Yeah, maybe I am still talking to Kai.
Yeah, you definitely are. My voice is a little bit higher than usual, and I've perfected my American accent, so...
So you never bailed on me after all? You just moved country during the global pandemic?
I'm just in California for now.
Wow, what made you want to go to California?
The weather.
Oh, of course, I don't blame you.
It's not rainy all the time.
Yeah, especially at the moment. Bloody hell, it's so cold. Horrible.
Let me check what it is here. It's not that cold right now. It's actually quite warm for this point in the year.
What temperature is it for you? Let me have a look on mine as well. For me, it says we currently have... I'm going to have to do this in Fahrenheit as well. Bloody hell, it says it's 6 degrees Celsius right now.
77 Fahrenheit, which is 25 C.
Wow, that's ridiculous. That's like summer weather for us.
Quite warm for this point in the year, yeah.
Do you know what, Kai? I don't blame you for moving over there.
Exactly.
So this is Audrey. Audrey's a good friend of ours. And for everyone that doesn't know who you are, Audrey, who are you? What do you do? Where have you come from?
Hello, my name is Audrey. I am from the United States. I do music sometimes on my YouTube channel, Audrey Music. Go subscribe. But I just... homies with the boys, Fraser, Kai. Aiden and Tom have been in here. They know Aiden and Tom. That's basically it. I just hang about, talk to people, play games sometimes.
Sometimes.
Mostly
we haven't played
music,
a game in
though.
ages. It's been forever since we played.
Were you there for the Among Us stream with Captain Sparkles, right?
Yeah. I think that was the last thing, wasn't there? Wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Oh gosh, that was ages ago now. It feels like it was just the other week, but it was actually like a month ago now. Have you found that October basically just didn't exist as well?
Oh my god, so much. Like, it feels like this entire year has just, like, not existed. Like, since March, I've had no concept of time. And, like luckily, I've been able to go to work and stuff, so I haven't been completely, like, locked in my house like I know a lot of people have. Yeah. But still... it just feels like a fake year.
I'm in the exact same boat. It's gone so quick, and I can't believe that it's literally Christmas next month.
Oh god, don't even get me started.
That's a thought and a half, isn't it?
Wow.
The fact that it's next month. I mean, in my head, I'm still like, well, summer's coming up soon. Maybe I could go on holiday or something, but no, that's already been and gone, and there's absolutely no opportunity for that. So sad.
So sad. So insane.
So you said you've still been working during the global pandemic?
Yes, so I have an essential worker job, which means I am able to go and work even in the strictest lockdown points. That's
good. So at least you haven't been financially ruined by this.
No, I've been able to save a lot of money as well. I mean, online shopping has
taken those savings.
Taken some of the funds, but I've been able to, like... save on eating out or going on dates with my boyfriend. Like, we don't have to spend that much money because we're just finding stuff to do at home.
That's fair enough. So when you're not working, do you usually always stay at home, or have you been doing some other things, or...
Yeah, our gym in my neighborhood has, like, reopened up, so I'm able to go there every once in a while if I need to, like, work out. I don't do that very often, but it's an available option.
Nice.
Able to, like, go out on walks and stuff and parks as long as you're, like, distanced.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff in my county has also been opening up. Like, we're able to go to restaurants. They're all very distanced, very sanitary.
That's
all
good.
Safe. But my county is quite small in population, and so we haven't really had a lot of cases recently. So that's good.
So generally in your local area, you're probably going to be fine.
Yeah, we're definitely fine up here.
Oh, that's good.
So.
Nice. Well, it sounds like you've been keeping busy. I wish I had the same drive as you, like going to the gym and stuff.
Oh, I barely go. Don't even, like, once a month. I'm just like, maybe I should go walk on the treadmill for like an hour.
That's still something. I haven't even left the house. Well, I mean, I have left the house since lockdown's been going down, but I haven't done any form of exercise.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I've walked Peter sometimes. Obviously, I don't walk Peter all the time because I've got my family that can also do it. And usually by the time I'm like, yeah, I might do it. I'm like, no, Peter's already had a walk today. Yeah. Exactly. So most of my life for the last 7.5 months, almost 8, has been sitting at my computer. And while 14, 15, 16-year-old me would be like, yeah, this is the life, 22, 23-year-old me is going, it was good for the first couple of months. And now I'm enjoying it, but I'm not at the same time.
I'm bored. I want to do stuff.
Exactly. It was a luxury at first. It was so nice. But now it's just, you need that variety. And I feel like the luxury is all worn off.
Yeah, the novelty of it. The novelty of being like, oh, we get to stay home. Don't have to see people. Now it's like, I'd rather be able to see people. Like, introverted me is like, please, God, just somebody invite me to a party.
Literally, I've been considering so many things that I want to do that I normally wouldn't do. Like, with me being kind of like a mixture of extroverted and introverted, I'm like, yeah, I'd love to do this, but I can't be bothered. But now I'm like, I want to go to festivals. I want to go to parties. I want to go to nights out again. It's been forever since I've done that, but I want to go and do it. And it's like you miss the things that you never had, and the things that you take for granted, you no longer take for granted and you want it back. And I guess now, where before I was like, oh, I'd love to work from home, like, for quite a long time. Now I'm like, yeah, this is too much of a good thing. Let's go back in the office.
Yeah.
It's so strange how life works. Have you had anything like that, where you've had maybe too much of a good thing that now you don't have it, or what do you miss?
I don't know. There's not a lot that I can't do in my county, which I'm very blessed for.
Lucky.
So we were never really on the like strictest lockdowns. Very early on, when it was like stay at home for 2 weeks, I like redecorated my room, painted all the walls, redid everything. But like after that point, we've all just kind of been like, what do we do now?
So, Audrey, there's a reason that I wanted you on the podcast today, other than the fact that Kai's gone and bailed.
Yes, what is that?
I was thinking of some ideas, because I've been trying to get some more guests onto the podcast, and more people that have both been on before, both never been on before, or maybe haven't, I don't bloody know. I had an idea, and that idea was, I think it'd be a fantastic episode and a fantastic conversation between us to discuss the differences that we may or may not know between life in the UK versus life in the USA.
Alrighty, what do you want to know?
And with you being the American and me being the Brit, I feel like...
No, I'm the Brit and you're the American.
Howdy, y'all!
Wonderful, that was great.
Dogs!
Yeah?
Is that a good impression?
That was wonderful. You could pass here.
Oh, thanks. Am I truly an American citizen now?
Yeah, green card.
Oh my god, is that how easy the test is? I can't believe it. No, of course not. Oh man, tell you what, you do a British impression.
Hello, I'm going to the shopping mall to push around my trolley, buy some fish and chips.
Brilliant.
God save the Queen. Is that good?
Yep, here's your British passport. You've made it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, man. The main thing which made me think of this idea was the fact that I've been putting this, recording this podcast off of you for quite a bit, because Peter's been barking. And Peter's been barking quite a lot this evening because there's fireworks that are currently going off outside. And while they're nice and pretty to look at, Peter is like, oh my god, intruder, and starts barking at them.
Yeah.
So we've been having to comfort her and relax her, and obviously that's not a good thing to happen whilst we are currently recording, because there's nothing you can do about barking. But then I thought, hold on a moment, you don't have bonfire night in the USA.
No, I don't even know what bonfire night is.
So, bonfire night is a celebration which usually happens around the 5th of November.
Okay.
And it's the celebration of the prevention of a nasty man called Guy Fawkes who tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament in London.
Oh, that's not good.
So it happened many, many, many years ago.
Right.
In fact, because I can't remember the year off the top of my head, Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament somewhere in between 1570 and 1606. And the only reason I'm saying that is because that was his lifespan. He died at age 35. And
okay.
It was 1605. Here we go. And the whole plot was called Guy Fawkes and the Gunpowder Plot. So he was planning to blow up the Houses of Parliament, and it would have killed everyone in Parliament and destroyed the entire building. But that was all prevented. So ever since, well, I don't know if it actually happened after 1605, but ever since then, people have celebrated the prevention of the House of Parliament blowing up. So this is, I guess it could be potentially a 400-year-old celebration.
Okay, that's fair.
So yeah, around November 5th, because it all stopped on November 5th. It was prevented on November 5th. Around that time, everyone gets fireworks and they blow them up in the sky. It looks fantastically pretty, but it's in celebration of that. Now, you don't have that, obviously, in the USA, because you didn't have a nasty man called Guy Fawkes try to blow up your non-existent Houses of Parliament.
No, but our November holiday is Thanksgiving, which you guys don't have.
No, we don't. And you know what? I don't really know that much about Thanksgiving. For me, that sounds like you just say thank you to each other. Is that what it is?
So, what they teach you in school as like a little American child is that people sailing from England to get away from England, because like, you know, America, we didn't want to hang out with you for a while there. But so these people, the Pilgrims, they land in America. Mm-hmm. I think at Plymouth Rock. Don't quote me on that. It's been a long time since I've taken a history class.
Whereabouts is Plymouth Rock?
New England area.
Okay.
So the Pilgrims land at Plymouth Rock, and they set up shelter.
Okay.
Winter comes, and they're like, "Oh no, it's cold. All our food is dying. What are we gonna do?" Mm-hmm. And the Native Americans in that area so kindly offer the Pilgrims food and teach them how to grow crops, and they have a big celebration, they have a big feast, and that's what Thanksgiving is historically.
Oh.
Now that's the very nice and cushy version of it that they teach you as a little kid in school. It's a little more politically charged over here right now, so I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We don't like politics on the podcast. Nope. We try to avoid it, obviously, but sometimes things come out. But yeah, that's fine. So, okay, that is not what I was expecting at all. Literally, all I imagined is it's a day sometime before Black Friday where...
The day before Black Friday.
Okay, so literally the day before Black Friday.
Yep.
Where a bunch of family members go around each other's houses. They go, thank you for existing, and give each other presents and have nice food, and that's about it.
Yeah, so it's partially correct. We don't like say thank you to each other. We kind of just like, the theme is to be thankful for your life, and yes on the food, no on the presents. I don't think I've ever gotten a Thanksgiving present in my life. But we should start that. Another reason to get a present. Yes, please.
See, that's what my impression was, and in my head, obviously being someone who has absolutely no clue what truly happens, I thought, well, why does everybody buy stuff before Thanksgiving, for Thanksgiving, when if you wait literally one more day, everything's on a mad sale and people are beating each other up at the shops over free TVs and all of that?
Yeah,
like you could just wait one more day.
Yeah, no Black Friday is a weird concept to me anyways. I don't really...
See, and this is another thing that we can compare. Black Friday in the UK and the USA is completely different territory. Oh my God.
Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving. Stores will have drastic price cuts on high demand items such as televisions, electronics, appliances, toys that are in high demand. And people will rush to the stores and wait outside for them to open and then fight each other over the best deals, even if it's something they don't really want. It's just a good deal, so they got to get it.
Yeah. And some people camp outside for days, don't they?
Yeah, it depends on the store, the deal, what you're getting, but...
See, that is insane.
After Black Friday is Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Which is like the online deals and tech deals and stuff.
So in America, does everybody stick to those dates, or do you have all of these other retailers that have early Black Friday deals or late Cyber Monday deals, so you end up having like month-long sales? Or
kind of, the retail like corporation that I work for, I'm not going to disclose because I don't want to get fired. The retail establishment that I work for, the deals start on Thanksgiving night, so the store will like close early on Thanksgiving but then reopen at like 10 p.m. and be open until like 1 or 2 a.m.
Wow.
And then reclose and then open at like 6 a.m. on actual Black Friday.
What about online retailers like Amazon? Do they have really early ones, or are they usually quite strict to the dates as well?
It depends. Sometimes, I think this year Amazon's going to have earlier deals because they don't want people going out and stuff like that. But
yeah,
for the most part, it's usually 1 or 2 days.
And because over here on Black Friday, you always get the memes of Black Friday in the UK versus in the USA. In the UK, it's just nobody's queuing up, nobody's going in. And then in the USA, there's literally riots. Are riots common?
I've never seen one. I've never been a part of one, but I can understand in like certain parts of the USA how that would happen. But I've never actually like seen or been a part or heard of one in my area.
I've literally seen, I think the craziest video that I've seen online was there were people queuing up at the doors, and then doors started to open, and then everyone just started running in. There were people on megaphones and bullhorns going, please don't run, slow down, one at a time. But they were still surging through the doors that were slowly but surely opening. And the amount of people that were pushing everyone else against the doors. There was glass windows surrounding the doors. So that glass started cracking and it all started folding forward. And then it got to a point where basically the doors fell off and the glass around it fell off. And there was just a massive hole in the opening of the store. That's the worst I've seen it. Online.
Yeah, that's like a crazy circumstance that doesn't really happen from what I understand, but I also could be very ignorant because I don't really participate, so
that's fair enough.
Don't take my word as like all Americans.
Of course. Nah, you represent the entirety of the USA, and I speak for the entirety of the UK population.
Okay, deal.
Okay, fantastic. So speaking on behalf of the entirety of the UK population, we don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we have like all of these stores that have early deals. So Amazon literally last week started early Black Friday deals. They'll hype it up more on the week itself. But literally for the first 3 weeks of this month, they're saying, right, early Black Friday deals, come to this bit for some lightning deals. And then you've got some other places like there's some game stores which are going, yeah, get in on it while you can, especially with the upcoming Xbox and PlayStation launches. But in reality, nobody cares. It's something that slowly but surely made its way over because you invented Black Friday, I think.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know.
And the UK's just kind of adopted it. We never had Black Friday, I'd say maybe 20 years ago, but with more and more, I don't know, the openness of communication across the world being a thing now, and, you know, like the surge of the internet, people constantly communicating online, more and more UK corporations started to adopt it. So it's becoming a more and more regular thing over here. But in reality, we're not as hyped up for it. Everyone will do the online shopping, but nobody's in a rush to go out shopping in stores if they don't need to.
Yeah, that's like my whole deal too. I would rather shop online on days like that and avoid like big crowds of people.
It just makes so much more sense in my head.
It's easier, yeah.
Yeah, don't have to leave the house. Got it coming in maybe 2-3 days.
Shop in your sweatpants, wear your pajamas.
Exactly! You don't need to dress up to go outside. No chance of catching COVID. I mean, I doubt any stores will be allowing too many people in because of COVID this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. But it is a good day when you get a good deal. Otherwise, it's just another one of those days. Consumerism. Yeah. Do you know what? I've obviously been over to America before, and you haven't been over to the UK, have you?
No, I have not.
No. So, one of the things which stood out to me as well when I was over in America is everything is so big.
Yeah.
Everything is so big. Your roads are huge, unless obviously you go to a more
cars.
But even with the cars that I saw on the road whilst I was over there, that could probably fit into the standard 3-lane motorway we have here in the UK, and it wouldn't be like rush hour traffic.
Yeah, it depends on like what area you're in. You were in Florida, Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Orlando is a high population city, so they're going to have bigger roads to accommodate if like more people are on the road, especially for rush hour traffic, stuff like that. They got to have ways to keep traffic moving.
Yeah.
There's a good amount of like smaller 2-lane highways that are just like in the more remote parts of the states, but yeah, as long as you're in a big city, you're going to be getting roads that can accommodate high volumes of traffic.
Makes sense. And the other thing that I noticed to do with size is before I'd gone to America, I'd heard, everything food-wise, everything like portion size-wise is so much bigger in America. And I was like, that can't be right. It's so true.
Yeah, it is a lot. Large portions, large sodas, large everything.
It's extra large. If you were to order a large in the UK, and expect what you're getting in America, you would be disappointed.
Oh no, yeah, for sure.
A large in the UK is equivalent to a medium in America.
Like a McDonald's cup.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those comparisons. A large in the United States is like a liter of soda. It's so much.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I thought that was a myth, but it's true. And it's even the same with like
true.
It's even the same with like food sizes as well. Like the portion of fries I got, we went to Wendy's on the first night. And I thought, I'm not too hungry. It's been a long day, but I need something before bed. So I'm going to order a medium chicken or medium meal or whatever it was at Wendy's. Can't remember what I ate. But then it came out to me and it was all large and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
It's a UK large and I was like, this is more than I want.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it, I'll eat it, but it's more than I want at the moment.
Yeah, I don't really know why portions are so big here. I guess people eat more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's like in terms of diet or what goes into the food. All I know is that it tastes good.
Yeah, it does taste good, unfortunately.
Why is that unfortunate? It's great.
Because it's so unhealthy.
I guess that's what brings you back.
Exactly. It's like, it's all greasy and fried, and you're just like, ugh, this is so gross after you eat it. But then, like, a few days later, you're like, I could go for some McDonald's.
Maybe I'll have that grease again. It's tasted great.
Yeah, for real.
Is there anything in the UK that, like, you've generally wanted to try, but obviously you haven't because you haven't been over here? So, like, has anybody maybe... Like, for me, for example, me watching David Dobrik a lot, he bigs up Chick-fil-A. And I was like, oh my God, I really want Chick-fil-A. And he bigs up...
Chick-fil-A is pretty good, yeah.
And he also bigged up... Oh, who was it? The burrito place. Why can't I... Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah. He was bigging up them as well. And I was like, oh my God, I really want some. And luckily, there is a Chipotle in London. So I was able to try Chipotle and it tastes fucking great.
Right.
So I've managed to fulfill, like, kind of what I wanted to eat in America whilst I was over there. Is there anything that you've heard from England, or maybe, like, one of us has said it's really nice to go here? Is there anything you've heard of that you really want to try, but obviously you haven't yet tried?
I think, honestly, like, your chocolates. Because over here, our Hershey bars have to be, like, classed as candy because of some of the ingredients in them, so they're not actually like chocolate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of our chocolate bars, like Mars Company, are classed as candy because of the ingredients. I'd rather try some of your like...
Why do they want to do that?
I don't know. To make it taste better, sweeter? I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm a fan of like dark chocolate, not super sweet, so I don't really eat those as much as a lot of other people I know do, but
yeah.
Yeah, my answer is probably good, like, different types of chocolates over there.
You would love a real Cadbury bar.
I think I would, yeah. I've had, like, the cream eggs that they have over here sometimes, but...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how different they are. And they only ever have them around Easter.
Yeah, that's the same here, really. Cream eggs only ever come in around Easter time, and then they go away.
That's fair.
Yeah, I reckon you'll love Cadbury. I mean, we've got Mars as well, but again, as you said, that yours is classed as candy, ours is classed as actual chocolate, so it might taste better. There are a few of your chocolates that I like. Like there was, I think there's a Hershey's cookies and cream bar.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
That's so good. I love that so
sweet,
much.
Though.
It is. You can't eat too much of it, but it is so
I have, like,
tasty.
2 squares and then I'm like sick from all the sugar.
It's so worth it. You're like, oh my God, I feel so ill, but I feel so happy right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice. Maybe if you don't come over, we'll have to trade. Or I could just send you like a gift bag of all of the candies, good UK chocolates. If COVID wants to settle in for like another year or whatever, then we'll just do it.
I reckon it'll be
good. Yeah, that's a plan. We'll have to do that. Cool, it's happening. Is there anything? I've got a few other stereotypes that we could go through, but is there anything that you have that's a stereotype of the UK that may or may not be true that you don't know about, or anything about the UK which stands out that's different to America?
I mean, the one that jumps to mind is that your teeth are bad.
Oh, shit.
That's like the only one I can think of for some reason.
Oh, that's so sad, but it's so true. Oh, no. Wait, by bad, do you mean like bad, or do you just mean like people's teeth are more common to be yellow? Like, what have you seen?
I guess the thing that people say is that they're either yellow or crooked. Or a combination of the two.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, you're not wrong. It is very common for people to have slightly yellowish teeth. Which I guess doesn't mean anything. It's just the colour. But... there's definitely a lot of people with really awful teeth that are really crooked. I don't know if you've seen I mean you've heard of Jeremy Kyle, haven't you? He does like an American show as well. Or
no,
did
never
an
heard
American
of him.
show. Okay. Well there's this guy called Jeremy Kyle. His show no longer exists because of some drama that went down. But he was what's the equivalent in your country? I know there's another show which is the same format. Basically, this guy, he sits down, he brings on one party, he might have an issue like, oh, this man slept with my wife and he might be the dad, or I might be the dad, I don't know. And then the other party brings on the wife and the guy that he slept with. They have like fight, they brawl it out sometimes, and then they try and sit down, find out the truth, and then they might do a lie detector test to see.
Maury?
Could be.
The Maury Show, yeah. You are the father.
Yes. Yeah, there's a UK, or was a UK equivalent called the Jeremy Kyle Show, and he would do that. And it's kind of like the Jeremy Kyle curse. Almost everybody that went on that show had really, really awful teeth. Like, you could tell that they probably smoked quite a lot, like to the point where their teeth could have gone extremely bad, and the gums could have been extremely bad, and the teeth could have fell out. But it was always just the curse of, if you went on Jeremy Kyle, they probably got really bad teeth. And I was wondering if you maybe seen a clip from that show or something, because if you did, you'd be like, oh my god.
No, I don't think I have.
1 second. I'm just going to send you a picture of a couple of people that have been on, because it's really bad. So the search term for people that want to search along whilst listening, I'm just searching on Google, Jeremy Kyle Show teeth, and I'm just sending to Audrey in the chat now a couple of people with the really, really bad teeth that have been on the Jeremy Kyle Show. God. It's just the Jeremy Kyle curse.
I was wondering where you were going with that TV show story. I was like, what does this have to do with teeth?
Well, you see what I mean though, don't you?
Yeah, no, that's bad.
There are people that have been on that have normal teeth, obviously. It's not everybody, but it just seems to be the common thing of people that went on it. But that's funny to know that the stereotype is true, and it's made it across the pond, and everyone over there thinks that as well.
Yeah, the only other one that I can think of is like the weather. You guys complain about the weather. That's all you talk about is your weather.
Yes, and you're right. The reason for that is that we kind of see the best of both worlds, as quite a few places in America also see. So when it's hot, it is really hot, and we don't have air conditioning to cool us down. When it's cold, it's really cold, and the UK just generally isn't prepped to deal with any form of snow, because we don't want to put in the money on like snow gear, like, I don't know, snow plows or chains for the tires and stuff, because it only happens like maybe 1 or 2 days a year.
Right.
So the entirety, it doesn't shut down, but like quite a lot of people are affected by snow, and schools usually close because of snow, because teachers can't get in. Just because of that, because we're not prepped for it. Because we're never prepped for both scenarios, having air conditioning nor having anything to deal with the snow other than just general road grit, then everything just closes down, and we can never adjust to one or the other because it all changes so quickly.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that stereotype is also true. We do complain about the weather a lot. There's a few other questions that I've got, and I think we'd be coming close to the end of the podcast now. But actually, do you know what? Before I say that, if anybody is listening and they are either American or British, or maybe you're not American or British, maybe you've just got stereotypes about both countries, tweet me at Stuck in a Podcast. That's our Twitter account, at Stuck in a Podcast. Let us know what your general UK and USA stereotypes are. It'd be very interesting to know, because maybe there's some that we haven't covered on this podcast, and we could have missed some very obvious ones. So let us know, because it'd be very cool to maybe revisit this at some point in the future if this podcast episode really goes down well. But if not, I reckon it would be a fun conversation topic between us in the future anyway. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
The other thing is, obviously, school life is very, very different between both of our countries. So generally, it's the same in terms of what goes on, but schools in America seem to be a lot more serious than schools in the UK. And by that, I mean schools are super duper into their sports and into their performing arts. Is that true?
For some schools, yeah. It's It kind of varies by school. I know this high school that I went to, a lot of the focus was on the performing arts and theater and stuff, and thankfully I was a part of that. But we also had like an incredible girls volleyball team and a state championship boys basketball team. And so like those two sports were super big in the school as well. So I think it just kind of depends on like, if your team is good, then your school's really going to be into the sports. Yeah. But if the team's not so good, then the sport just kind of gets brushed aside because everybody just wants to win.
Wouldn't that vary year by year, though, as students come in and leave?
Yeah, but then the school, like, earns a certain reputation, you know, like, oh, this school has a really good theater department, so people will come to the school. I went to private schooling as well, so I was able to choose what school I went to. Public schooling, most of the time you don't have a choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so your district, you, like, where you live, you go to a certain school.
No.
For public schooling, yeah.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
here it's slightly different. So, yes, there is some kind of, like, preference in terms of if you live closer to a school, chances are you'll be more likely to get into that one. But, like, it was always a thing where if you were just coming out of preschool, which is obviously your very early years, and you're going into a primary school, you would go have a look around at different primary schools, and then you choose like your order of preference. So number 1 preference, number 2 preference, number 3 preference of what ones you want to go into. And then you won't have a choice after that, but based on your preferences, you'll be then allocated into hopefully one of the schools that you've selected. Yeah, and it's the same with secondary school as well. Moving from primary school and secondary school. I think I had a look around at 3 or 4 different secondary schools, and then I selected my preferences, and one of them was you had to take an exam in order to get in, so I took the exam, and then but this school was like the really, really high demand school. Everyone wanted to go there, so unfortunately I didn't get in, but I did get into my second choice. Do you not? So if you're in a public school, you don't have any of that choice, you just go into one and that's it?
Yeah, for most places I think it's like that. There are a couple areas, like there's 2 high schools and you can choose which high school you go to based on your address. But for the most part, public schooling is there's one high school, which is secondary school. Yeah. And like maybe 2 or 3 elementary middle schools, which is primary. Yep. So you kind of just funnel in. It starts out like broader and then you all funnel in. And you get in like high school, you get these like classes of thousands of people almost.
Wow. That's crazy. I've never even thought about that before. Mm-hmm. The yellow buses as well. Are
school
they
buses?
Yeah, the school buses. Does every single school have a load of yellow school buses? Yeah. Is that a common thing?
Yeah. It depends on how big the school is, how much funding they have. I know my high school only had like 6 or 7 buses, but then there's high schools that have like 20 to 30 buses. I don't know. It's a little different because I went to private schooling. Yep. So if you wanted to bus, you had to like pay for the bus.
So what about public school? Would you not pay for the bus then?
I don't know because I didn't go to public school.
Fair enough. That makes sense. We never had anything like that. I know a couple of schools had like a bus for maybe not so what am I trying to say? For families which might not have had good transport, or they could have been like lower in an area, they might have had buses to help them get into school. But it wasn't commonplace to see buses which would pick you up and take you into school. Other than maybe if you went into a private school, that might have been an option. But I know from most public schools, that wasn't even an option. Yeah. Wow, okay. See, this is good. I'm liking this. I think we'll end off on something that's a little less more comparison and more personal. What is your weirdest school experience? Or what is your funniest school experience that you're happy with sharing on the podcast? Like maybe something crazy happened and it was like this really school changing moment, like everyone was laughing about this for weeks on end, or maybe it's something small and private which happened with your friends. What happened? What is your crazy school moment?
So I went to, for my last few years of high school education, I went to a kindergarten through 12th grade school, which is primary and secondary in the same school.
Okay, yeah.
And so there were different principals for each school, like different person ran the elementary, middle, and high school. But there was a president of the entire school.
Yeah.
And so we were having our like welcome back to school rally, and he was going to make this big entrance, and everybody had been hyping it up, and we were like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? All of a sudden, like the whole student body is like sitting in this gymnasium, and the stage is empty and the light is on for him to like come speak. And Bad to the Bone starts playing over the speakers, and he comes riding in like one of those little kid toy cars with a bright pink helmet on his head. And that's how he made his entrance.
Well, so would people that have never seen him before, that would have been his first impression on all of them? So like, that's fantastic.
It's hysterical.
Sounds amazing.
It was so funny.
Do you know what? I'll say a story that's very similar, just because that reminded me of one as well. But it's nothing to do with welcome back to school. So the school that I went to, every single year they would go to this music and concert venue in the centre of Bristol. And they would perform this big Christmas sing-along with everybody in our school, in neighbouring schools, and it would be like 7 or 8 different schools and all of the students that wanted to get involved coming into this big, massive concert venue in the centre of Bristol to all sing along with different Christmas songs and maybe some pop songs as well. And it was a really cool thing to get involved with. Every single year, the main music teacher, coordinator, the person who put together the entire event, he would, for the grand finale, also dress up as something else. So throughout the entire concert, he'd just be himself. He'd just be performing on the piano and getting everyone to sing along, coordinating, conducting everything. But at the very end, when there was this big final send-off, he would go off the stage whilst some final speech was going on. And then there would be this big build-up for him to come back on stage. Very similar to what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And each year he would come out as something completely different. So one year, this is quite one of the more boring ones, I'd say. He came out as just like a Christmas fairy. So imagine a 50-year-old man dressed up in a pink fluffy tutu with a little flower crown on and a little wand. But I think the last thing he dressed up as before I fully left school was when Frozen was popular. So you had, I think he was about like 53, 54. I genuinely don't know. It was a couple of years since the fairy one. He came on the stage dressed up as Elsa, head to toe, the most beautiful Elsa you'd ever seen, with the makeup and everything. And it's a 53-year-old man, beard and mustached Elsa.
That is fantastic.
He was incredible. Your story just reminded me of it, and I was like, oh my god, I have to tell it. He was such a cool teacher.
Yeah, that's really fun.
So if you ever went to the school, you would know if you went there. I'm obviously not going to give away the location, even though I'm pretty sure I accidentally doxed myself on Sky News. Yeah, if you ever went there, you'd know exactly who I'm talking about. And if, for whatever reason, you ever decide to listen, you know who you are, Mr. So-and-so. You were fantastic. Incredible music teacher. I think that's a good note to end off on. We've been talking for 45 minutes, and it's literally felt like 15. Yeah,
really. That was quick.
This has been great. So thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode of I'm Stuck in a Podcast! And again, a massive thank you to Audrey, who kindly, on very short notice, gave up her time to get involved with this podcast. Thank you, Audrey, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Is there any final words you want to say? Anything you want to plug, promote? Say shout outs to people, anything you want to say?
Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Audrey Music on YouTube. I do covers of really fun songs sometimes. It's very sporadic. I don't upload frequently, but still subscribe. Thank you.
Audrey's very, very talented. You wouldn't want to miss out. And also make sure you go and follow her on Twitter as well. I think it's Audrey__music, isn't it? It's 2 underscores.
Yes, it's 2 underscores.
So at Audrey__music. Go and follow her on Twitter as well. And let her know how fantastic she's been in this episode.
Thank you.
You know you've got the right one when you see like glittery hands as the header.
Yeah.
I just went onto the page to double check and I was like, oh, glittery hands.
Wonderful. That's me.
Why is Grindr trending?
Why is Grindr trending?
We got Grindr. I've just checked on Twitter. Grindr's trending and then Biden's trending. Does Joe Biden have a secret Grindr?
Today.
It's probably a good thing because I think Joe Biden's got a Grindr account. Anyway, thanks for listening, and don't forget, don't go and find Joe Biden on Grindr, okay? Thank you for listening. Goodbye, bitch.